Streaming live now on News8000.com. You're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now, this weekend.
Good evening and thank you for watching News 8 Now this weekend. I'm Allison Fergit. We've got some steady showers in the Coulee region today. People in downtown La Crosse were holding on tight to their umbrellas or wearing rain ponchos to try and stay dry. Let's send it over to Nicole to see how long we can expect this rainy weather to last.
Yeah, we really had a nice steady drizzle for much of the day today on Sunday. We've started to see a lot of those showers move out of the area now, as we can see on radar. A lot of that is just east of I-94, really clearing up across much of the area. Still a few more lingering showers in Eau Claire. Otherwise, many of us are seeing dry conditions carry on into the evening. Here's a look at our rainfall totals since last night. Again, the main patch of rain really fell south of I-90, some areas nearing 2 inches of rainfall. Areas west of I-94, or excuse me, east of I-94 could still see some additional rain amounts. However, everyone there is really inching towards just around an inch of rainfall. Here at the station, we got just over an inch today, and we're expecting to see some more as we go into the very early hours of the morning. Here we are for the rest of the evening. Again, those showers are continuing to move out, and we're actually, believe it or not, going to be warming up as we go into the overnight period. We'll finally be warming back into the upper 50s as we wake up in the morning for Monday. Eau Claire again holding on to those showers just scattered up there. However, we will start to see those really start to dissipate as we get later into the evening. And then tomorrow, I mentioned, we'll already be warming throughout the evening, getting into the upper 50s as we go into the morning hours, but we'll actually be seeing the upper 60s in the afternoon, which is something we haven't seen in a little bit. So a little bit warmer. However, we do have some showers on the way, but I'll break it all down coming up in a little bit.
All right, thanks, Nicole. La Crosse will be the center of the political universe tomorrow. Both major vice presidential candidates will be stopping in the city, so make sure to give yourself some extra travel time. Republican Senator J.D. Vance will rally supporters at the La Crosse Center. He's expected to start his remarks at 9:30 tomorrow morning. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz will also be campaigning in La Crosse. Like Vance, he's expected to speak sometime tomorrow morning, but there are no details yet on where he will be speaking. With the two visits, expect some heavy traffic. If you are traveling near the airport and around downtown, prepare for delays and detours. And as Nicole mentioned, rain tomorrow morning won't help the morning commute either, so make sure to leave extra early. The Wisconsin Democratic campaign team released a statement about Vance's visit to La Crosse, stating in part, quote, J.D. Vance is coming to La Crosse to close a campaign that is more focused on Donald Trump and his own problems than Wisconsin families. This election comes down to a choice between Vice President Harris, who is fighting for you, and Donald Trump, who is consumed by his enemies list and plans for revenge. The Wisconsin GOP has not released a statement yet about Walz's visit. Former President Barack Obama campaigned on behalf of the Harris-Walz campaign in Milwaukee today as part of the final push in the days leading up to the election. His speech at the Baird Center pitched the election as a chance to bring in a new generation of leadership. The former president also pitched to undecided voters, emphasizing the importance of Wisconsin on the road to the White House. In response to the former president's visit in Milwaukee, GOP Chairman Brian Schimming released a statement, stating in part, for 4 years, Kamala Harris stubbornly defended Bidenomics while everyday Americans struggle to stay afloat amid record inflation. To this day, she has zero regrets for the Biden-Harris administration's mismanagement. No last-minute appearance by former President Obama can erase the devastating impact of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden on the livelihoods of Milwaukeeans. Democrats are holding canvassing events today to capture energy on the ground ahead of the election. Democratic Party of Wisconsin Chair Ben Wickler launched the La Crosse canvassing event. Lieutenant Governor Sarah Rodriguez, Congressman Mark Pocan, and other members of the party held similar events throughout the state. The events aim to mobilize support and encourage Wisconsinites to vote for Vice President Kamala Harris, Governor Tim Walz, and Democrats up and down the ballot.
We think that actually going out and engaging with people shows them that their vote can make a difference and that we are seeking to earn their vote, and we hope that everyone goes out and votes in this election.
Leaders say they will highlight Vice President Harris's new Way Forward plan to cut everyday expenses, protect reproductive freedoms, and strengthen democracy. Future Wisconsin STEM leaders showcased their engineering and coding skills at West Salem Middle School this morning. Teams of 4th to 8th graders competed at a LEGO League Wisconsin regional tournament. Teams built and programmed their autonomous LEGO robots to earn points by completing timed missions. They also worked on an innovative project uncovering mysteries of the ocean while envisioning the future of ocean exploration. The competition aims to inspire young people to become leaders in science while encouraging creativity.
It just really teaches them to be critical thinkers, think outside the box, those problem-solving skills, and just that persistence to just keep going when things don't quite go. Failure is not a bad thing. They say just fail hard and fail fast, and then you learn from that and move on.
The winners of today's regional will advance to one of 3 Wisconsin sectional tournaments. There, they will continue their road to the state competition, which will be held in Waukesha. Coming up on News 8, more aid is coming to Ukraine. The aid comes as North Korea might join Russian forces in the fight against Ukraine.
California banker Eric Hovde has a plan that helps him and hurts you.
Here's the math. Hovde proposed $4 trillion in new tax cuts for rich people like him.
And we pay for Hovde's tax breaks with a 28% cut to Social Security and a 25% cut to Medicare.
Hovde even said he would raise the retirement age.
You have to start changing the retirement age.
Eric Hovde, still helping himself and hurting you.
Win Senate is responsible for the content of this ad.
Think you know Steve Doyle? Think again. Doyle refused to protect our daughters, forcing them to share bathrooms and locker rooms with biological boys, and voted to force girls to compete against boys in sports. Doyle believes dangerous puberty-blocking drugs should be given to minors, and gender reassignment surgeries performed on children. Keep kids safe? Steve Doyle says no. Ryan Hipsch, focused on what matters, helping families with rising costs and protecting our children. It's just common sense. Ryan Hipsch for Assembly.
Remember when Hillary Clinton called you a deplorable?
You could put half of Trump's supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables.
Well, Tammy Baldwin hates you too.
Donald Trump might be one of the most offensive and hateful and unacceptable presidential candidates we've ever had. So what does that say about the people who support him?
Tammy Baldwin is a liberal snob.
I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message. Join my team and give today.
When Derek Van Orden got physically aggressive with Capitol workers, he said, "I don't give a who you are. I'm a congressman." But Van Orden doesn't care about anyone. The teenage librarian he terrified. The police barricades on January 6th. And in Congress, he doesn't care about you, siding with extremists who'd cut Social Security and kick sick folks off health care. Derek Van Orden doesn't give a Democracy First PAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
You're watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
Vice President Kamala Harris is focusing on the battleground state of Michigan today, with just over a day to go before Election Day. CBS News correspondent Christian Benavides reports from Georgia, where former President Donald Trump is speaking tonight.
In the closing hours of campaign 2024, Vice President Kamala Harris spoke at a church in Detroit Sunday.
These days will demand everything we've got, but when I think about the days ahead and the God we serve, we were born for such a time as this.
Later, the vice president addresses supporters in East Lansing, Michigan. Former President Donald Trump rallied in North Carolina and Pennsylvania. There, he stoked controversy as he talked about the ballistic glass protecting him at the venue.
To get me, somebody would have to shoot through the fake news, and I don't mind that so much.
In a statement, a campaign spokesperson said, quote, "The president's statement about protective glass placement has nothing to do with the media being harmed or anything else." The former president railed against early and mail-in voting while claiming election fraud was already underway.
We should have one-day voting and paper ballots.
This evening, Trump speaks in Macon, Georgia.
Following this Georgia rally, the former president will focus on North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Michigan tomorrow.
Keep Kamala and carry on a lot.
And millions watched Vice President Kamala Harris in last night's opening segment on Saturday Night Live. Christian Benavides, CBS News, Macon, Georgia.
The United States is providing more military support for Ukraine. It's a $425 million aid package, which will include artillery, armored vehicles, and air defense interceptors, according to a statement released Friday by Secretary of State Antony Blinken. The aid is a presidential drawdown package, which means the equipment will be taken from U.S. military stocks. Blinken says President Joe Biden will use as much of the authority Congress authorized to back Ukraine before the end of his term. This new package comes as thousands of troops from North Korea are potentially going to join Russian forces in the fight against Ukraine. Coming up on News 8, good news for people who save their workouts for the weekend. Researchers say there's a brain benefit to the workout schedule.
And after a gloomy Sunday, we have some warmer conditions on the way with a side of some spotty showers. I'll break it all down coming up after the break.
When you see Stacey Klein, think 1849. She supports the 1849 law that would ban abortion. No exceptions for rape, incest, or to save the mother. Don't let Klein take us back to 1849.
I'm Jody Emerson, and there's a lot at stake in this election. Extreme Republicans are trying to completely ban abortion in Wisconsin, and Michelle Magadan Skinner will help them do it. She wants to join extremist Republicans trying to ban abortion with no exceptions for rape or incest. I'm fighting to protect abortion rights, protect IVF treatments, and protect access to birth control, because they're coming for those next. I'm Jody Emerson, and I'll keep fighting, but I need you to vote.
I, Kamala J.D. Harris, do solemnly swear.
Kamala swore an oath, but Kamala created crisis after crisis. Our troops murdered, an open border, crime in our streets, skyrocketing costs, assassination attempts, Americans abandoned during disasters, and we're on the brink of World War III. A broken oath and a broken America. Kamala can't be trusted in the Oval Office. Vote for President Trump and save America. Make America Great Again, Inc. is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Do you believe in punishment for abortion? Yes or no?
There has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah.
And the punishment is real. Women denied care, unable to get pregnant again, traumatized, scarred for life. Young women who didn't need to die. Now 1 in 3 women live under a Trump abortion ban. And if he's elected, everyone will.
There has to be some form of punishment.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Jody Emerson, what would you say you do here? We know you've collected over $250,000 from taxpayers while taking it easy. But where were you, Jody, when we needed help with rising costs? Where were you when our community needed funding to keep Lake Altoona clean? Where were you when radicals were trying to force our daughters to compete against boys in sports? You weren't there for us. So, Jody, what would you say you do here?
When you see Stacey Klein, think 1849. She supports the 1849 law that would ban abortion. No exceptions for rape, incest, or to save the mother. Don't let Klein take us back to 1849.
You earn trust by making a commitment and sticking to it. By telling the heartwarming stories with the same consistency and dedication as the difficult ones. And being there when needed, all day, every day. We work hard for this trust, not just because we love what we do, but because we, like you, expect more. We are News 8 Now.
Even one workout a week can boost your health, and quitting smoking could add years to the lives of cancer patients. Nicole Skanga has some of the week's top health stories.
Cancer patients who quit smoking shortly after a diagnosis significantly lowered their risk of dying. A University of Texas study found patients who started tobacco treatment and quit smoking within 9 months of their cancer diagnoses added nearly 2 years to their lives. The earlier they quit smoking, the longer they lived. Researchers say they found the sweet spot for when it's safe to have surgery when recovering from a heart attack. A study by the University of Rochester found people 67 and older should delay any elective surgeries for 3 to 6 months after they've had a heart attack. Those months of recovery can drastically lower the risk of life-threatening complications. People who work out only on the weekends are helping lower their risk of cognitive decline and dementia. The British Journal of Sports Medicine found weekend warriors, or people who exercise just once or twice a week, got a significant benefit for their brain health. The findings underscore that just a little exercise can go a long way. Those are some of the week's top health stories. Nicole Skanga, CBS News, Washington.
And we've seen some pretty rainy weather here in La Crosse, so let's send it over to our Nicole for a check on our forecast.
Yes, it has been very rainy as we went back through the past few days. Honestly, we've had a lot of rainfall out there, but it's been a good thing because we were very dry going into the month of October. So it's pretty fitting that we're having more of a wet start to November. Here's a look at the live radar right now. A lot of those showers are really starting to make their way out of the area, staying east of I-94. And we're looking to stay dry as we go into the majority of the overnight period. Now that's going to end as we get into the early morning hours, as there's going to be a band of some heavier to moderate rain rates starting to come through. We see here 3 a.m. tonight going into around 5 a.m. We'll see those showers starting to get into Eau Claire and getting into La Crosse, edging closer to Eau Claire a little bit at like an hour afterwards. So a lot of these showers could have some heavier rain amounts than we saw today. However, they're going to be moving quickly through the area and they'll be out of here faster than we even saw them. As we see that heavier band moves off to the north, really starts to weaken and dissipate though as the further it moves north, giving some more lighter amounts as it gets tracking further north. Now as we go further into the morning, we could still see some isolated showers throughout those early morning hours, possibly making a little bit of an impact on the morning commute, especially after that first round where those roads will already be a little bit wet. However, we're not really expecting the main round of main round of showers to come until later in the evening. Again, just some isolated spots in the afternoon, mainly just seeing those overcast skies. And then here comes the main amount of rain. That's really going to hold off until around 10 p.m., raining throughout much of Monday night, and that's going to transition on into Tuesday morning as well. So here's a look at the additional rain amounts that we'll see as we go throughout the rest of the evening. Again, very little in our area until we get into the morning hours for Monday. Then we'll see those heavier amounts still staying mainly south of I-90. However, everybody's going to get a little bit of sprinkles as we go throughout the earlier hours of Monday, and then going into Monday night into Tuesday morning, that's when we get that next and last round of good rainfall until next weekend. Some areas possibly seeing an additional inch of rainfall. However, the main line of these storms and showers is really up for question yet, so we'll be able to update you when we know who's going to get the most rainfall as we go into Monday night. All of this, though, is very needed. Now, this drought monitor is updated every Thursday, so that means it was updated before the rainfall that we got last Thursday. So this probably isn't still in that severe drought, but this just goes to show that our drought conditions were worsening, so this rainfall was very needed and very welcomed. We are going to get a little bit of a break from it, though, as we go later in the weekend. We do have warmer conditions going for tomorrow, even with the chance for some sprinkles. Here we are going into tonight. Our lowest temperatures are going to be right now staying in the low 50s. We're going to continue to slowly track up as we go throughout the overnight hours, already seeing the 60s as we get into the early morning hours, and then the highs very well above average. Much of the area seeing the mid 60s for tomorrow, 67 in La Crosse, 63 in Eau Claire. So a nice warmer day, although that sun probably won't be shining down on us. We're really going to feel that warmth even with a few sprinkles out there. Definitely won't be as wet as it was today, though. That's really going to come Tuesday morning, just in time for Election Day. So that's another thing you're going to want to keep in mind for Tuesday if you're going off into the ballots to put your vote in. It might be sprinkling a little bit towards those morning hours, but by the afternoon, Tuesday's going to shape up to actually be pretty nice in the 50s. This fall weather is finally here. We actually had our 4th warmest start to meteorological fall in both La Crosse and Eau Claire, so I'm really welcoming the 50s this week.
Yeah, we will definitely take it. I'm looking forward to those 60s tomorrow.
It's going to feel nice.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you, Nicole. Yeah. Well, and coming up in sports, the latest on the Packers versus Lions, plus a recap from last night's Wisconsin football game. Cade has the highlights after the break.
Clear Choice Window and Home Solutions, your choice for quality, affordable windows, installed by our experienced team. Contact us or stop into our showroom today for your free estimate.
I'm Tammy Baldwin. I approve this message.
We found out our baby had severe fetal abnormalities and that my life was at risk. But Wisconsin Republicans' extreme abortion ban forced us to leave the state to get the care that I needed. It was a nightmare. Eric Hovde pushed to end Roe v. Wade. And in the Senate, Hovde would give Mitch McConnell the majority to ban abortion nationwide. No exceptions for rape, incest, or the health of women like me. What is wrong with these guys?
You have a clear choice in this election. Senator Baldwin is a 38-year career politician. I'm a businessman and job creator. She supports taxpayer benefits for illegal immigrants. I'll close the border. Tammy wants to put guys and girls sports in their bathrooms. I'll protect our daughters. Senator Baldwin abuses the political system. I'll fight the corruption. I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message. I'd be honored to have your vote.
Kamala backed Biden on everything. She was the deciding vote for his disastrous economic agenda. They raised taxes on the middle class, and prices soared. Kamala was in charge of his open border policies, giving welfare to illegals while Americans struggle, and their weakness invited wars. Now Kamala wants to double down on failure. It's time to turn the page on Joe and Kamala's failed agenda. President Trump fights for you. His strength kept us safe. Trump cut taxes for families. Prices were lower and the border secure. Now, President Trump can do it again.
And we are going to launch a new golden age of American success for the citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed.
Remember, Kamala broke it. President Trump will fix it.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
When the threat is real.
All right, we still have another tornado warning now.
First Warn Weather is here for you.
So we're going to continue to monitor this once again.
It's in the name, keeping you safe before and as it happens.
And then for the morning commute, we're looking at heavy rain potential.
First Warn Weather on News 8 Now. On air, in your hand, and online. When you need us.
We'll continue to update you throughout the night with a severe weather outbreak.
Covering all of the exciting action from your community. Here's News 8 Now Sports with Kate Overton.
Week 9 of the NFL season, man, it is flying by. A big one for Green Bay this week as they welcome in the 6-1 Detroit Lions. And, well, the Packers have some work to do. Now, the game isn't over yet, so maybe Green Bay can put together a crazy comeback, but they're currently trailing 24-6. It's been rainy, it's been windy, and it's just not Green Bay's day. I'll have full coverage tonight at 10. Coming up on Sunday Night Football, the Minnesota Vikings in action hosting the Indianapolis Colts. It's a big game for Minnesota as they're trying to snap a 2-game losing streak and keep pace in the division. The Colts are going with the veteran Joe Flacco at quarterback, and with the Vikings' blitz-happy defense, we'll see if they can throw him off his game. I'll have an update on this one at 10 as well. The Badgers, they're entering a bye week on a down note. Wisconsin got crushed on the road last night against the Iowa Hawkeyes. The Badger defense gave up 330 yards on the ground, including 3 touchdowns to the Big Ten's leading rusher, Caleb Johnson. And for the offense, well, Braden Locke finished with just 137 passing yards and 2 interceptions.
That's the first time I've really felt this, right? I mean, even after the Alabama game wasn't the same thing. This was something that kind of your worst nightmare, to just kind of be overtaken and manhandled and dominated.
Badgers will now have a bye week before they welcome in the #1 ranked team in the country, the Oregon Ducks. That'll be on November 16th. In case you missed it last night, we had a couple of area volleyball teams punch their ticket to state. First, it was the Holmen Vikings running the table in Division I as they took down Verona last night in 5 sets as they returned to Green Bay for the first time since 2021. The Vikings would draw the 8 seed as they'll face the 2-time defending champions, Divine Savior Holy Angels, on Thursday night at 7:30. And in Division III, the Aquinas Blue Golds faced off with Laconia last night. This one would also go to a 5th set, but the Blue Golds would hang on for the win. They'll now be going to Green Bay for the first time since 2019. The Blue Golds got the top seed in the tournament. They're 27-4 on the year. Now they'll face Bondul at the Resch Center on Friday morning at 8 a.m. We'll have more on both of these teams throughout the week, so be sure to tune in. That's all for sports. We'll be right back.
I believe in bringing people together, like my family and neighbors did when I was growing up on the north side of La Crosse. And now that I'm in the state legislature, it's why I focus on bipartisanship, because my whole being is focused on bringing people together to find solutions to make everyone a winner. I've appreciated the opportunity to be your state representative, and if I'm reelected, that's what I'm going to continue to do. My entire focus will be on bringing people together to make Wisconsin a better state.
When did you know Eric Hovde was wrong for Wisconsin?
Well, that's easy. When he said that people like me were going to die soon, so we shouldn't be able to vote.
Almost nobody in a nursing home is in a point to vote.
When Hovde said overweight people should pay more for health care.
When I heard he wants to raise the retirement age.
When I heard he's completely against abortion.
I am totally opposed to abortion.
Now we know what's wrong with Eric Hovde. He's not for us.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
Who does Derek Van Orden think he is? This guy who reportedly shouted at kids in the U.S. Capitol? I don't give a who you are. I'm a congressman.
Derek Van Orden doesn't care about making our lives better. He'd make Wisconsinites pay just to give huge tax cuts to corporations and the wealthy. Van Orden even sides with extremists who tried to cut Social Security. Wisconsin deserves better, and Derek Van Orden does not belong in Congress.
HMP is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Remember when Hillary Clinton called you a deplorable?
You could put half of Trump's supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables.
Well, Tammy Baldwin hates you too.
Donald Trump might be one of the most offensive and hateful and unacceptable presidential candidates we've ever had. So what does that say about the people who support him?
Tammy Baldwin is a liberal snob.
I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message. Join my team and give today.
You earn trust by making a commitment and sticking to it. By telling the heartwarming stories with the same consistency and dedication as the difficult ones. And being there when needed, all day, every day. We work hard for this trust, not just because we love what we do, but because we, like you, expect more. We are News 8 Now.
Trust the First Warn Weather Team to keep you safe, and even better, you can take us with you. Expect more with hourly temps and conditions, video forecast, interactive radar, and your choice of notifications. We're there when you need us.
We're going to have a little bit of a rainier start to our day. Definitely wear your rain jacket at the bus stop or for your early commute. Other than that, those showers really are going to hold off until the evening hours for that main batch. And then election day, it's going to be a little bit wet in the morning, so maybe wait to go cast your ballot later in the day. But I don't know, those lines can be tough. Sure.
Awesome.
Well, thank you for watching News 8. We'll see you at 10.